That's Matt in the house. We just had a little technical glitch. I think it was on my end. I think we got it fixed. So if we disappear into the who knows where, we'll come right back. Matt, how are you, my friend?
I'm great. How you doing?
I am awesome. Thanks. I've been talking to you off and on today. I've been excited. I love podcasts. I love Disney podcasters. I'm excited to get to know you. Let's say hi to the people in chat real fast. As I cough on everybody. Kay's in the house. Mike Wheeler's in the house. What's going on? Captain Akron's in the house. Rockin' Robin's in the house. Rachel, loved your comment earlier today. Thanks so much. Is in the house. Kay Atwood's in the house. So glad you guys are here. Lorena's in the house. Let's see. Who else? Did I miss anybody? I hope I didn't miss anybody. I know more people are coming in. I know Resort TV 1 is going live. Christy's Corner just popped in the house. How are you, my friend? Excited to see you guys. I missed you guys last Sunday. I was having fun. And then, as you may or may not know, hey, Gonzo's in the house. What's going on, my buddy? I was with Gonzo in Walt Disney World last week. I was supposed to be flying for our Sunday night stream, but I ended up joining. Hi, Gary B. How are you, my friend? Hey, Skater Greatness in the house also. Let's get right to Matt. Matt, you know, in my video today, I actually called it an anniversary. I guess it's not an anniversary. You had a 100th episode about a week ago, and you're actually now at 102, right? You've done 102 of your XS Press podcast. Is that right?
Yeah. Reached the 100
amazing.
episodes. Yeah, thank you. I reached 100 episodes just last week. I started it July of last year. So wow. Yeah, to me it's nuts that I've made it this far. I never thought I would, but I did it. So
do good stuff and stick with it, and success comes. Oh, Gonzo, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Because I love what you do. Thanks for thank you, Gonzo. I love what you do. That is so nice. Guys, if I miss the super chat, please let me know. As you know, when I'm interviewing guests, I try hard to watch the guests, but thank you so much, Gonzo. It means the world that you support it that way. Thank you. So you're a weekly podcast, but you started in July, so you're more than a weekly podcast if you're already at 102.
Yeah. So I started as a weekly podcast, doing the news every week. But then I realized I wanted more out of it. And then I got the idea to start interviewing cast members almost on a weekly basis. So that kind of started bringing up to 2 episodes a week.
Love it. So yeah. I asked you earlier, but I'm going to ask you, hey, Dances with Goofy's in the house. What's going on, my friend? I asked you earlier, but for the group, how have you had so much success getting cast members? I have had a little bit of success. And I've got a bunch of people. Well, I've got a bunch of probablys and maybes for next year. Cast members. I think that some of them have been interested, but not wanting to be while they're current cast members. I've got some former cast members, but you've had a lot of success. I looked through your playlist, I guess, and you've done really well. So what's the magic? What do you know that I don't know? I love it. Hey, Disney World Adventures, how are you?
Well, I mean, originally it was just, I put out like I originally put out a Facebook post, and then I put it out on Instagram, and I started reaching out to people. And that's kind of how I got a lot of the guests on the show. And most of it is just messaging through Instagram now. I mean, there's so many people within the Disney community on there, and there's just a lot of people that love talking about their time working at Walt Disney World or Disneyland. I don't interview present or current cast members. There could be like a liability, because I've heard like stories of people saying stuff on social media and getting like fired, and I don't want that on my conscience at all. So I only talk to past cast members, and more than not, they're usually always willing to chat. So you become friends with these people. You just talk to them, and they open up, and they love talking. So that's usually how I do it.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense. Cast members are like my favorite people. When I spend all my, hey Nathan, how are you, buddy? Welcome in. When I say, hey, Kay, happy birthday, Nathan. Very cool. When I spend my dollars on my vacation, my family's vacation, these are the people that are making my day better and making my week better. And so whether they're current or they're former, I love cast members. And I'm looking forward to getting more former cast members. Actually, got a bunch in the loop. Actually, a former cast member who I've had on the schedule, but we've had to change, just became a Laker girl. And so, we actually had her in for January, but now we're going to have to change her because now she's under contract with the Lakers. That's a whole thing. She can do it later, but whatever. Who knows? Yeah. The Atypical Hustlers in the house. What's going on, my friend? So glad you're here. So this is Matt. I love podcasts. I've had a few podcasters on my show, mostly people who do YouTube. Hey, Lynn, how are you, my friend? But what I wanted to ask you is why podcasting? I really enjoy your podcast. It's very much like what I think I and some of us are doing here online. So why did you pick the medium of podcasting? I love it, but I want to hear what your why is.
Well, I mean, I just love, first, it just comes from like my creativity. I just love just trying out new things. My real job, I'm a designer, graphic designer, web designer.
Very cool.
I'm into photography and videography, and there's podcasting was just kind of, to me, like the next form of thing I wanted to do. Like I had started kind of my own YouTube channel, but to me, YouTube is tough. I don't know how you do it, creating like a lot of video content. Huh?
Podcasting stuff.
To me, the video content is even harder. It's just like, there's just, I don't know, you always have to do something. But yeah, to me, it's tough. But I mean, with podcasting, I fell in love with it. I just love listening to podcasts starting like probably like 2013. I was actually going on my first Walt Disney World trip in like 9 years. So I went, last time I went previously was 2004, and I was going again in 2013. So I started listening to Disney podcasts. And I just fell in love with podcasts. So I always wanted to start one. It just seemed like a ton of work and a lot of it just seemed like a lot. So I never really did it. And then finally last year, there is a tool that came out, a platform called Anchor.
Yes, I know Anchor. Yes.
Yeah. So Anchor is great because all I have to do is just edit my podcast and then just upload it to Anchor, and it disperses it through all the major podcasting platforms, which just makes it super easy. So like in one click, it goes to Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, and like and a bunch of others. So it just made
it's free.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's free. And that's honestly what's great about it. You do it for free, and it just makes it so much easier. I mean, making podcasts 2 times a week is definitely not easy. I mean, I've made it an easy process, but I think just my love for Disney just kind of keeps me going.
Oh, we're definitely going to talk about that. I want to hear about when it started and all that. Let's say hi to some more people. Jen's in the house. Jeff from Only Passengers in the house. I dropped his link. Matt's link is in the house. Is in the chat right there. Go to it. Sorry, guys. Go to his website and then make sure you subscribe to his podcast, whether you watch those or listen to those on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts or wherever you do them. They're everywhere. Alan from Galley Streaming in the house. Disney World Adventures, how are you? Tom does Disney. He'll be on in a couple weeks. Not next week, but the week after, I think. Will be my guest here on DisTube. So fun meeting you last week at Mickey's home. Matt, what's going on? Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us for sure.
Oh, Matt, that's me.
I think that might be you. I don't know your last name.
That is me.
So there you go, guys. That's Matt. Actually, I'm going to take a second. I'm going to make sure I've got, because I couldn't find your channel. So I'm going to go to his channel right now, like you guys all need to do. Hit his little 3 buttons there on the right, click them, and they'll give him a subscription. Whatever. You got 1 billion. You got 3.6. Dude, you got more than me. You're crushing it already. So there you go. Give us up.
Yeah, there was one video, it kind of went viral, and one video has like 1.6 million views on YouTube.
Now I'm jealous. So I just do off of it, but I will go back for sure.
Yeah.
Wow, I went from let's find you. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Anyway, so you fallen in love with Disney. You went back, you said in 13. It sounds like you knew it before. Why don't you tell me and everybody here when you started falling in love with Disney?
Yeah. No, so I was born in 88. The first trip I ever went on was in 1994. And ever since then, I've fallen in love with it because in that trip in 1994, where I don't remember much about it, my dad he was one of those dads that carried around like the big VHS camera on their shoulder everywhere. So he videotaped one day in Hollywood Studios and another day in Magic Kingdom. So after like I came home from the trip, I watched that VHS tape all the time. And that kind of like what kept my love going for Disney. And then we went again in 1998 and I just kind of fell in love with it all over again. And then that's when I went on Extraterrestrial Alien Encounter, which is my favorite ride of all time. And that's how I got the name Excess Press.
I was going to ask you, that's my next question. There you go.
Yeah, because if anyone remembers Alien Extraterrestrial Encounter, the company, the evil company was called Excess Tech. So
it. I love
yeah,
it.
so I was like, you know what? Like when I started the podcast, it was like a news show. So I was like, all right, well, Excess Press, that sounds pretty good. I know it's a little bit of a tongue twister, but
It is a little bit,
yeah,
but I like it.
yeah, I felt like I just had to give homage to that ride because I was like 10 years old when I went on it, but like I still have my like vivid memories going on that ride, and it was me, my sister, my mom. I remember just like grabbing onto my mom for dear life because just how scared I was.
You were 10? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I was 10. Yeah, 10 years old at the time. So yeah, then after that, I still loved it. Then once more in 2004, and then I didn't go again for 9 years. But now as an adult, like I love it. My wife and I, we still have a love for Disney. And as you kind of said earlier, I had my bachelor party at Disney World.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
love that. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. Well, keep going. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, I mean that was pretty much it. It's just it's just now I'm adult. I love Disney. Just listening to more podcasts, and that's why I was like, you know what, I want to start my own podcast, and it's been great ever since. It's just I think talking about Disney is just the easiest thing for me to do.
Right? It is. Football, baseball, the UFC, and Disney for me. So there you go. Jen, I think I said hi, but I'll say hi again. Tom does Disney says 1988 represent. I'm guessing he was born then too. I graduated high school in 88, which explains the color of my hair, the color of your guys' hair. But that's all right. You young people can hang. That's okay. Destination Chronicles in the house. What's going on? I dropped his link again. If you're just getting here, and a bunch of you just did, please get over to his website, follow it, and then get over to his podcast, get over to his YouTube. All those things.
I see Jen says that her dad had a big camera too. So
yeah, that was a big old fat one, right?
Yeah.
Actually, one of my old football coaches had, and I'm older than you, had I remember going golfing with him, and he had the mobile phone, which was totally not mobile. It was like,
no.
it was like this big, and it was fat, and it was ugly gray, and it had to be a big antenna. And he always had, every time anyone else was playing, he had to get on the phone, like anyone was calling him. It was so dumb, but that was a whole lifetime ago. Little darling in the house, RJ Sharpie in the house. What's going on? So glad you're here. AJ, Amy, hey, it was so good to meet you last week. Destination Crush says, yes, Disney memories are perhaps even more powerful than being there. Sometimes, right? Sometimes. That's a good point. I think that's one of the things that's awesome about Resort TV, one of those live streamers. Paul Michael in the house, so glad you are here. Trying to get caught up in chat.
You wanna hear a funny story real quick about Resort TV 1?
Yes, please.
So it was like a really weird coincidence. We have a trip we're going to in November to Walt Disney World. There's like a group of 6 of us. My father is a DVC member, so we used his points. And we had a stay that was happening. We were going to be staying at Old Key West, but I had a wait list for the Animal Kingdom Lodge with the Savannah view. So we were hoping to get that. It was weird because a couple weeks ago, Resort TV 1 posted a video of like the 2-bedroom villa over at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I have to watch that video. But I was out. It was like a Saturday night when I saw it. And then the next morning, I got waitlisted. I got the waitlist for Animal Kingdom Lodge Savannah View. So to me, that was just like a really weird coincidence that they posted the exact room of what we were staying in now. It's
so cool.
Really weird coincidence. But
I have a DVC story that kind of parallels that. So I've always wanted to be DVC. Wifey never wanted to be DVC. Hey, Mike Polito, what's going on? A couple of years ago, we're on like our second to last day on our week-long trip or whatever, and Wifey goes to I pin trade. So we're pin trading with the DVC people, and she starts talking to him, and he's doing his spiel, and I want to, and she doesn't. So I'm not even listening. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, she says, hey, we're going to this. We're going to this. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not listening to anything. I don't think there's any chance. But they put us there at Animal Kingdom. We're looking out onto the savannah. Zebras are walking by, all this stuff, and it totally gets her. And so we ended up buying that day. I'm like, I mean, even I can sell that stuff with zebras walking by the room, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's really cool. So let's talk about that. You talked about using some of your DVC or your dad's or whoever's DVC points.
Father-in-law.
Yes, and that's what you did on your bachelor party. Yeah. And that sounds like it was awesome. So I went, okay, so it wasn't our bachelor party, but when we got married 18 million years ago, we, because we lived in Southern California, but we had lots of family fly in for our wedding. So we said, hey, the next day we'll go to Disney because I'm a Disney nut, wifey's a Disney nut. And we figured it'd be a nice way to, hang out with the family a little bit. So then I hear that, I listened to your podcast about your bachelor party trip. I don't remember exactly what it was. Your 9 buddies. And it was just, even the first like 20 minutes, you guys just kind of introducing yourselves and cracking up and talking about all of it. I'll shut up. Why don't you tell the story? What made you do that and tell the people all about it?
Yeah, I mean, so to recap, like my trip, I can't talk about it a lot now because it was way too much. The episode we did was like 2 hours long if you want to know all about it. But
I mean, 100, I think, because I just watched it and I think I'm 2 behind. I'm pretty sure.
It was 101 episode.
Okay,
101.
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just posted it last week, but I mean, my best man knew I have a love for Disney, and I was like, you know what, let's just do it. Let's do a trip at Disney World. But I was only going to do it if it was cost effective. And luckily, again, my father-in-law, who's a DVC member, gave us points for the hotel. So there's no worry there. And all of my guys were in like, yeah, let's do it. So we did it. And it was honestly like one of the best trips I ever had. I mean, it was just all of us together. It was so much fun. Fantastic. Like all the laughs. I mean, literally drama free, no drama at all. It was just spectacular. We were there for 4 days, 5 nights, or whatever it is, 5 nights, 6 days. Anyway, I can't remember, but yeah, it was great. And I could go on and on about it, but if you want to know everything, episode 101 of the show, it's got everything. So yeah, there were 8 of us together. It was cool.
And you stayed in what was it, a 2-bedroom, I think, because if I remember, and I'm probably going to screw this up, but it was big enough for all of you, right? Which is kind of a DVC sales point, but 8 dudes, adult dudes. And I think the way somebody said, I don't think it was you guys had plenty of space. Is that?
Yeah. We were in a 2-bedroom over at Bay Lake Tower, and it was great. Yeah, plenty of room for all of us. I mean, there was 4 in a bedroom with the 2 queens, me and my nephew in the master, and then 2 people out on the sleeper sofas. So they had the queen sleeper, and then as well as the couch sofa. So plenty of space. You could fit 8 adults in one of those 2 bedrooms, and it's perfect size. It's good.
I love it. I still can't believe we're DVC. I feel sometimes like when I tell people I'm DVC, I feel like I'm bragging a little bit. And I don't want to be that guy, but I'm so excited that I don't know how we did it. But anyway.
Well, I keep telling my wife, I'm like, can we please buy into DVC? Can we do it? And she's like, Matt, my father-in-law is DVC, and he doesn't really use his points. He gives them to us anyway. So, but I don't know. There's just something about wanting to be part of it. Like, I feel like even though I don't have it, I get to use DVC. It's just, I want to be a part of that community. So
I totally get that. And I'm totally not that way generally. But I am with Disney things. I came home from my trip. One of the first things I sat down with wifey and I said, all right, well, we have this many points, but I need to raise this much money to get this many points. And then maybe in 3 more years, we'll get this many points. But anyway, so you started being a Disney fan at a young age, yes?
Yep. Yeah.
Talk about that. Talk about what was your favorite park when you were a kid? Where did you go? Favorite movies, whatever you want to share. Why did you fall in love with Disney is really where I want to go.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it honestly just stems from just being at a very young age, watching all of the Disney animated movies. I mean, Lion King growing up was my favorite. Toy Story came out at like the perfect time. I mean, I know it wasn't Disney at the time, but I mean, now everyone assimilates it to Disney. So Toy Story came out in '95. I love that. One of my favorite things to do is just watching the Disney Vacation Club like videos. Like we would get not the Disney Vacation Club, the Disney planning videos that would come every year. The VHSs, just watching those, and just between the years in between my trip, I always just fantasize about being at Disney World. I mean, definitely growing up, Magic Kingdom was by far my favorite park, but as an adult, Animal Kingdom is my favorite. Like I love Animal Kingdom Park now. I think it's the most immersive park, and just, I think the food is just what is really bringing me back to Disney now. Loving the food. That's, to me, that's a big part. I just want to eat everything when I'm there now.
I did, and this is what happened, so be careful.
I know. I'm getting there.
So let's segue to that then. Favorite Disney restaurant?
Man, favorite. It's tough. I think if I would have to pick one right now, I would probably say California Grill. It's just, to me, we went there. I haven't been back since 2013. I'm trying to go again on this trip, but to me, that was one of the best experiences I had at a Disney restaurant. I mean, going up there, we planned to make it like a very nice night out. We went up there like 7:30. We dressed up a little bit nicer. We had like a fantastic meal. And I just remember the service from the waiter just being like impeccable. Like the waiter was just so knowledgeable. We told him like the kind of wine we were looking for. He's like, "Oh, try this one." I feel like we had a fantastic bottle of wine.
Wow.
And the food was just incredible, like absolutely incredible. And then, I mean, you get to watch the fireworks off of the balconies there. There's the two decks on the side. So you can watch the Magic Kingdom fireworks. At that time, it was actually the Halloween party fireworks. So it was Happy Hallowishes at the time.
Love it.
So they piped the music in and you watch the fireworks. And to me, that was just like the most memorable time I had at a restaurant. So to me, that's my favorite. But as far as like if quick service, it's I think Satuli Canteen right now. I think the food at Satuli Canteen is so good. I love it. But I have to plug my favorite snack at Disney. So my favorite snack is located in the Germany Pavilion in Epcot. It's at the Caramel Couche, or I don't know how to say it, but it's the caramel oatmeal apple cookie. It is my favorite thing. I get it every single trip I go now. But please try it out because I don't think enough people do. I just love oatmeal cookies and having like the caramel drizzled on top with the apple in it. It's just it's so good. So
and that's in the Germany Pavilion.
Germany Pavilion over in Epcot. Yeah. So I love this. I'd love to see if anyone in the chat has had that cookie before. I'd be interested.
Let us know. I'd love to know. So Epcot is my jam. World Showcase is absolutely my favorite. And if I had to pick my favorite, it probably changes. But as of right now, Germany is my favorite pavilion. I have never had anything in Germany that I love. First of all, the look of it. But I love the pretzels. I love the stuff like I've not had that. But there you go. Jen says, love caramel couche. I don't know if I'm saying it right. So Jen's at it.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think that's the name of it. I'm not sure. I don't know how to say it.
I don't care if I can say it. But I love the Germany Pavilion. I love World Showcase, and I love Food and Wine. It's my favorite festival. It's actually the only festival I've been to, unless you count the Christmas one, which I'm not really sure what you call a festival. But regardless, I love it. And it's funny you say California Grill. I've not been. Gonzo, who was in here, I don't know if he still is. I was just with him, and he actually had three separate reservations for that, but we canceled all of them, and I'm not really. But
should not have done that.
Yeah, it's his favorite place. I actually kind of feel bad because I remember saying at one point, "Well, we're at Food and Wine. There's all this food." And anyway, it is what it is. I don't know. We're gonna have to try that someday for sure. The Lynn Project says noodle gratin, cheese heaven. I love Lynn and I have that in common.
Nice. Oh, Jen says she likes the chocolate cookie stuff with caramel. Maybe I'll try that next time if that's at Caramel Couche. I haven't had that one.
Caramel Couche. It sounds like an actress.
That's how I say it. It's probably not. It doesn't sound German at all. So I don't know.
Dapper Tom in the house. My favorite Dole. Oh, Dapper Tom, a person of my own heart. My favorite Dole Whip on warm pineapple upside down.
Oh, that is really good.
And you can tell because my name, that's actually how I had my Dole Whip this trip. It's funny. So there's so many ways I love it. And we're in Adventureland, and I just love it. I could sit in Adventureland and just stare out. And I've got my Dole Whip, and I'm with a bunch of people, and it starts raining, and everybody scatters, and I'm like, this is freaking perfect. I have all this space to look, and I'm getting a little wet. So what? Enjoying my warm upside down cake. Oh, I want some right now. I like you already. So we've talked about your podcast and your choice to do podcasting because you love it. You clearly have some success with YouTube, even though you're not concentrating on it. Where else can they find you? I know you're on Facebook, but why don't you tell them?
Yeah. So, my YouTube channel, which you can find in the chat, Matt Zabita. So stemming back, photography is a big thing for me. I love videography. And I started my own YouTube channel, just putting out some videos, but I thought I'd get a lot further with it than I don't know that I would, but I didn't. I just kind of stopped doing it. And to me, it's just, I wasn't ever satisfied or happy with the content I was creating. That's what led me doing the podcast. But yeah, so I'm really big on Instagram. Again, I post a lot of my photos on my personal feed. But now I'm on the Instagram all the time at X Express Podcast. and just there's just a huge Disney community out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's how I found a lot of my cast members to be on the show. And I'm excited to meet a lot of these people when I go in November. I have a meetup going on down there. And I actually found my co-hosts through Instagram as well. My co-host Katie, she was on the show as a cast member interviewing, and then she was on a couple others. I'm like, hey, you want to be the co-host?
Yeah.
Yeah. She thought she was like great, and yeah, she's been with me ever since. But yeah, Facebook, I just kind of post on there, just a small following. But yeah, podcast just at accesspresspodcast.com is pretty much where you can find everything. It's just, it has every link out there. So
it's funny you talk about Instagram that way. We talked about this a little bit earlier when it was just me and you, but I find like whether I'm having a great day or a rough day at work, but I want a little brain break, boom, go on Instagram and I can see Adventureland. I can see somebody on Space Mountain. I can see somebody I know usually. And I don't know, it makes my life happier. I love it.
No, for sure. Yeah. No,
so where do you want to go with your podcast? What's coming up? Any episodes you want to promote or what did you have? Well, you just posted one, so you can talk about that one if you like.
Well, the one today is the news. So I'll talk a little bit.
Stuff?
Sorry?
D23 stuff?
Well, that was a few weeks ago. I did D23 stuff. That was episode like 98 or 99. I can't remember. Okay. But so I'll talk a little bit about how, like, one of my inspirations for the podcast, because I think that's kind of a good segue into where I'm headed. So do you know the website InsideTheMagic.com, right?
I do.
Or I think it's .net.
I'm aware of that. I don't know them, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I've been following them for a long time, and Ricky Briganti, who he created the website a long time ago, back in like the mid 2000s. His podcast Inside the Magic was one of the first that I ever started listening to. And it was just a purely news podcast. Like every week he would come out with a show with all the news, and I loved it. And then in 2015, he stopped doing the podcast. And since then it always kind of like gave me a void of like Disney news podcasts. There wasn't another show that really gave me the news like he did. And to me, I loved how it's just like, okay, here's the news story, here's my opinion, and we're moving on to the next one. It wasn't just like, there wasn't a lot of fluff in between. It was just like, it was all meat and bones, and that's what I loved about it. And so I just wanted to start my own for so long of doing the Disney news because I needed something. So I was like, okay, well, maybe eventually I'll start it. And then going back to the earlier in the conversation, that's where Anchor came about. So like, okay, sweet, Anchor is a perfect reason for me to start it. Let's just do it. So so with the news episodes, I have that every single Sunday. And then the interview with the cast members I put out every Wednesday. But I've been like, with the summer, I've been inputting different shows in with like different topics. So I haven't told anyone this yet, but I'll give you guys the first. I'll give you guys the first exclusive of upcoming shows. So I'm actually going away on vacation for the next 2 weeks. So I wanted to make sure I had shows, stay with a consistent schedule, because I don't want to like leave you guys without any shows. So I have someone who worked at Radio Disney coming up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So usually it's like a cast member working the parks, but I found her, and I thought that'd be really cool to have someone working at Radio Disney down in Celebration. Yeah. So that's coming up. I thought another fun show would be someone who moved to Walt Disney World from like another state, how they were just like, you know what, I want to be closer to Walt Disney World.
That could be me in 10 years, I hope.
I live in New Jersey. I'm trying to convince my wife, but she's like, I'm not moving to Florida. So
I'm in Texas. I'm trying to I'm trying to do the same.
Yeah. So yeah, she's not having
it. Humidity is beating me down is where I'm losing that fight, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's the same. The humidity. So she's not having it, but yeah. So one of the shows coming up is just someone who moved down to Walt Disney. So it's like, I'm going to ask them a lot of questions of like what their decisions were, like why do it? I mean, it's going to be a really fun episode. I'm recording that tomorrow. Actually, I'm recording both of those shows tomorrow. It's going to be a busy week before I go away.
I bet. Well, yeah. I voted on your Instagram today that you ask everyone, should I show? It's not Disney. Do you want me to show you anyway? And of course, yes. I hope everybody else said yes.
Yeah.
Texas Steaks, thank you so much. 1999 from Texas Takes. Love this stream. Thanks, Jeff Schurz. Oh yeah, the shirt. Friday Night Live. I know it's not Friday, but they went live tonight, so it felt right to wear it today. But anyway, Texas Takes, thank you so much for your support.
Well, here I'll show my shirt real quick. It's you can't see it, but it's Evil Dr. Pork Chop.
I love it. And what is Evil Dr. Pork Chop?
You don't know Evil Dr. Pork Chop?
I do not, but I'm loving the shirt.
Okay, so from Toy Story 2, there is a scene in the beginning. It's kind of like a sequence where Andy's playing with his toys, and Woody is supposed to be the hero, and Pork Chop or Ham, Andy gives him the name Evil Dr. Pork Chop, and that's where that's from.
How do I not know
it's
that?
From Toy Story 2. Yeah,
dude, I need to go back and watch.
Yeah,
hey, I like being the Disney trivia guy. I used to do a Disney trivia show, and I may pick up some of that again, but. It's funny, people all of a sudden decided because I was doing a Disney trivia show that I was good at Disney. No, I was good at asking questions. But anyway, but again, Texas Takes, thank you so much. It means the world to me that you care to do that, and I appreciate it. Where else did we go? Did I say hello to Disabled? I think I did. I feel like I missed somebody. Interview Michael K. He just moved from Maryland. Actually, that's funny. I met Michael K. I've sent him and his brother invites. They both said, hey, I'm too busy right now. I've asked them both to come in 2020, so we'll try to get them on Excess Press and on my channel. But yeah, Michael K. He was talking about how he was worried about moving down there and would it ruin the magic. And I only had like 6 minutes with the guy, but I talked to him about a week ago now, a little more than a week ago. We were in line to go. It doesn't matter. And I said, so did it ruin the magic? And he said, oh yeah, we did say that. Absolutely not. So that. I don't know. It goes right into what you're talking about.
That was going to be one of my questions on the show, like how it's changed their experience with the park. So
yeah, I hope to find out someday.
Yeah.
If I missed somebody's question, please. I feel like somebody added me and I missed it, so I'm feeling like I missed it. But so let's go back. You talked about Lion King. Lion King was the first movie that I took my wife. She wasn't my wife at the time to go see. We're a little older than you. You said that was one of your favorite movies when you were a kid. What are some of your other favorite Disney movies then and now?
Well, yeah, then, I mean, I think I watched, again, Lion King just all the time. Aladdin was a big one for me. But I had a sister who was a year older, so she watched Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast all the time. I mean, as a kid, I loved those movies. I mean, they were great. So those were two that I watched a lot. And then, oh man, all Disney movies. I think remember the movie Little Giants? I think that was a Disney movie.
Yeah, the football.
The football one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Disney. But that was
program. I feel like I've played that movie on rainy days probably 1,000 times every day.
Yeah, so it was Little Giants. That was one of my favorite ones growing up. Oh, I think Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was Disney. At least it was at MGM Studios. Was that Disney?
I know they had Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I Shrunk the Audience.
Disney. I'm gonna say that was Disney. But Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I watched all the time.
Yeah. What's the guy's name? I love him.
Wayne Szalinski.
No, the guy who plays the dad.
Oh, Rick Moranis.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
Greatness.
Yeah. So those were some of my favorite ones. Those are the
live action. Then, though, you mentioned two of the live action. I like that.
Yeah, I tried to. I mean, those between Little Giants, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, like those were probably two really big Disney movies, live action that I can remember. There's probably a lot that I'm remembering, but those are the most memorable ones.
And what about movies like this year or more recently? Like, has this been a big year or two for Disney? What have been some of your favorites coming out, or maybe ones that are coming out? We got a big one coming out in December, that's for sure.
It's tough because like I'm a huge movie nerd. I don't know if you could see behind me, but on my I can't point. So on this side over here. Whoa, I can't do this.
I think I'm looking. Is that an Aliens?
That's Aliens, and then Alien over there, and then on the other side, man, I really stink at this. That's Predator over there.
Okay, so I thought I was looking at Aliens above your head.
Yeah. So
and I wasn't sure, but now I can tell, and I had no idea what that one was. But so I've got to tell you, I at one time, so I don't know that I've asked this question and anyone's got it right, but I think you might. So here it comes. At one time, I had two dogs, one named Newt and one named Ripley. And you know why?
Of course, yeah. I mean,
no one has ever told me when I say it like that. No one's ever been able to get it, but you can tell people that's from what movie?
It's from Aliens, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm
Ripley being obviously the heroine and Newt being the little girl in Aliens. I don't know why we did that. We just loved, we being my wife and I loved that movie. And my wife also likes newts, which is totally crazy. The little, it's a lizard, whatever. But it worked because she always liked them and played with them when she was a kid, and then we loved them. So
I told my wife the next dog we get, it better be Ripley. So
love that. I love that. Oh, Ripley was one of my favorite dogs ever. Not with us anymore. So Aliens is absolutely one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah,
where is your hand on Prometheus?
So Prometheus is I actually really like it. It's fun. Yeah. No, I mean Aliens and then Terminator 2, my two favorite movies of all time.
With that. Terminator 2, way
Terminator 2,
better.
Yeah. I have a tattoo of on my leg. It's a mashup of both of them.
No way.
Yeah. It's like the Terminator hand holding like a baby alien. But yeah, those are my two favorite. I don't know how we got to this topic. Oh, favorite movies. Yeah,
and you've got it over your shoulder there. I thought it was Aliens, but anyway.
Yeah. So you were talking about movies this year, and to me, I'm just not that into the live action remakes. And Lion King was fine. Aladdin was okay. To me,
liked both of those more than I thought I would.
Did you? Okay, yeah. I
like Lion King a lot. Here's my take on Lion King. I was worried a little because I love Lion King. Don't screw it up. But then I kind of came around to the idea of, well, how are they going to screw it up? And they went straight with the dang same story. And it was visually beautiful. So what's not to like? Yeah. And then Aladdin, I don't know. I really didn't think I would like Aladdin. And I think I liked it better than the original, which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
But it was really pretty. Will Smith did great. But I want to hear about you. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, everyone was hating on Will Smith, but I honestly think he was the best part of that movie. He was fantastic. Agree. Yeah. So in my opinion, the best live action remake so far is Cinderella. I think Cinderella is the best one. I love that one. It's I don't know. Have you seen the live action remake or no?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not a drive-in. It's a whole story that I won't waste our time on. But I thought it was beautiful. And I don't know. Do I think they're necessary? No. If I was Disney, would I make them? Yes. They're clearly profitable. But I've never gone to one and went, wow, that was a waste of my hour and a half.
I know.
They're always enjoyable.
I know. I'm waiting for the live action remakes to be done and over with, so then Disney can just. I wish they would just start making. I know, but I wish they would just start making more original movies again. Like,
well, they're going to have to with Disney Plus.
Yeah. There's a lot of content that can go on there. To me, one of my more favorite underrated Disney movies that came out recently, back in 2012. Do you remember John Carter? Do you remember that movie?
I know it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, so it's kind of cheesy, but like I absolutely love it. It's actually now
sci-fi, right? Help me remember. It's sci-fi.
Yeah, sci-fi. It's based.
Big star.
Well, it stars Taylor Kitsch. He's kind of big. He's all right.
Oh yeah, that's not what I was thinking. I'm glad you said that. It's not what I was thinking. John Wick is what I was thinking. I know what it is, but I still haven't seen it. But
no. So it was based on the Edgar Rice Burroughs book, The Princess of Mars.
Who also wrote Tarzan, for people who might not know.
Yeah. Yep. And so to me, it was just I loved it. It was a lot of fun. It's streaming on Netflix now, so you can actually watch it pretty easily.
I need to go check that out.
Yeah, so it's an underrated Disney movie, and I try to tell everyone about it. And unfortunately, it didn't do well at the box office. And I really want a sequel from it. I really want one, but it's just I know it's not going to happen. So
now, are you excited about Disney Plus? And if so, what specifically?
Oh yeah, Disney Plus. I'm really pumped about. I mean, especially The Mandalorian. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I have above me. I have I'm in a split level basement, but above me I have all the posters. I have. So you know how they sell those really awesome lightsabers in Galaxy's Edge now.
Nobody's got one.
Yeah, I have one of the original Obi-Wan Force effects lightsabers. Wow. So I have that hanging up on my wall, and I'm just a huge Star Wars fan. So I'm so excited for the Mandalorian. I cannot wait for that show. So excited.
Somebody in chat just said I rooted for Scar and Lion King. I'm pretty sure that's my good buddy who finally found my YouTube channel. Andy, I know that's you. I see you lurking. Welcome in. I like.
Oh, wait. So I see that the Lynn Project and Disabled Disney, they agree with me. I assume they're agreeing with my thoughts on the live action remake. So that's what I'm
People are very opinionated about those, but I don't know. They're always better than I think they're going to be. So Dapper Tom throws out their original Mickey Mouse Club. I'm that old. I think I'm that old too, buddy. I turned 50 Christmas Day, so I probably got a few years on you. Rochelle, I hope I said hello to you. Hello to you. Again, Sick Puppy, pretty sure that's you. Andy, welcome in. Again, that's my good buddy, I think. And he could never find my channel, he said. So welcome him in. Again, I feel like I missed a question. So if I did, let me know. Okay, so where do you stay? You stayed at Bay Lake, but you've gone a bunch of times, it sounds like. Where do you like to stay when you go down there? What's your favorite resort or whatever?
Yeah,
hey, Scott,
sure.
what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, so it's growing up. When my first trip I went, pretty much every place I stayed at was around Bay Lake. So the first trip was the cabins at Fort Wilderness, which I loved.
I've never done that. That looks awesome.
Yeah, the cabins are great. You should honestly try it. It's awesome. I mean, Fort Wilderness it's huge. It's kind of a pain to get around, but it's awesome. The second trip, it's funny because at the time my parents really wanted to stay at the Wilderness Lodge because growing up, I went camping every single weekend. So like or not every weekend, every single summer, I went several times. So like the outdoors was always our thing.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, in 98, we wanted to stay at the Wilderness Lodge, but there was a lot of construction. That's when they were building the DVC villas over there. So we ended up staying at the Grand.
It was amazing.
Yeah. So we ended up staying at the Grand Floridian, and that was, to me, that's not my style. It's gorgeous.
I've never stayed there. I've never even been in there. One of my daughters, that's number one on her list.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I've never even stepped inside, so I guess I will.
You should. Trip. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's just, it's not me. It's not my style. I honestly wouldn't.
Like old school. Like, why is it not your style? I'm intrigued.
It's, to me, it's just too kind of like fancy, and I'm just not like fancy, like Wilderness Lodge. Yeah, no, see, like Wilderness Lodge is my favorite resort ever.
Oh my gosh, that lobby.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like I knew it was gonna be beautiful, but it was like, I'm going to have to sit down and video for 20 minutes here.
I know. So we stayed at it finally in 2004 was the first time I stayed in it. And I loved it. Just gorgeous resort. And then when I went again 9 years later, I went with my wife, who then girlfriend at the time. I was like, all right, we got to stay at Wilderness Lodge. I need to stay there again. And we did. And we stayed there, loved it. And then Bay Lake Tower. So we stayed there. So I've stayed at every Bay Lake resort besides Polynesian. I haven't stayed there yet. And then
there in 4 weeks. I'm excited.
Are you? Oh, 4 weeks?
Can't wait. Hey, Meg, what's going on? Awesome. Meg from Mickey's Magic and Else. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I've never stayed, but so last year I stayed. We took like a very last minute trip, and if you guys don't think last minute trips like exist, like it could happen. Like you can plan.
It's the way to go. I hear you get like all the deals.
Honestly, well, I mean, we just kind of we booked everything a month in advance, and it was great. So we stayed at Old Key West, and to me that's like a super underrated resort. Like
I've not been, but I hear it's great.
So what I loved about it was that you honestly feel like you're going home at the end of every day. You're not dealing with like the rat race and the amount of people coming in and out of like the lobby.
Less people or what? Why?
Not less people. It's just since all of the rooms there are DVC villas or like the studios, you got 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, and so on. Like when you go back to the resort, it's like you're going home. Like you're literally going to like if you're like staying.
You sound like you work for DVC when you say that.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's like you go home and like you feel. You go back to the room and you're just like, oh, I'm comfy. I don't have to deal with anyone. Like I'm not walking through like a busy lobby. I don't feel like I'm at Disney. I feel like I'm in the comfort of my own home. And that's what I absolutely loved about it. And plus it was kind of nice. We had a nice balcony where we were able to watch the boats go by all the time on the river going from Old Key West to Disney Springs. So it was like, yeah, it was a nice resort. So for being such a big Disney fan, I've only been to Disney World 6 times. I've been to Disneyland a few times as well. But yeah, for having a podcast, I've actually barely ever been there.
It's funny you say, hey, Vincent, what's going on? Welcome in. I'm a Disneyland guy because I'm from Southern California. But, well, on 9/11, so in 3 days, we're having our 8th anniversary of moving to Texas, which meant a lot of things for our family, including we're not close to Disney anymore. So we used to go to Disneyland like a lot, like a lot. Like I'm embarrassed to tell you how much we'd go. But now to Walt Disney World, I've only been, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. I don't know. I should look. But having a Disney YouTube channel and all that, people think I've been there a lot. Okay, well, Disneyland I have, but Disney World no. But that's the thing. Like, it's not like you're going to, like, you go for 4 or 5 days, right? Like most people go for a vacation. It's not just for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And so it's, I don't know. You can kind of pack it in. That gets me to ask you this though. What's your favorite park?
So yeah, like I was saying before, Animal Kingdom now is my favorite park. I think, like I was saying before, it's so immersive. Like you just walk in and you just get surrounded by all the greenery and just the trees, and it's just
the theming is amazing there.
That's the thing. Like Joe Rohde just did like a phenomenal job at just crafting the park and bringing you into these worlds. And I think just a lot of the spots throughout the entire park are it's so photogenic. Like no matter there's just one spot in Asia that I just love having my picture taken there. It's kind of in between the bathrooms in Asia and then Everest. There's like a spot where there's all these like backpacks hanging from like the ceiling, and you could just like sit down on like a bench. There's like a cool window, but like to me, I love that. Like it's my favorite photo spot. And
it would be a place where you can see the show, right? The evening show. Yeah, I know the area you mean. It's amazing.
Yeah, so you're like looking out over to the show area, and I just love everything about it. And then Pandora, I'm one of the biggest fans of Avatar, and I'm getting off of Flight of Passage for the first time. I was literally in tears because of just like how happy and emotional that was for me. It was just like it was the experience itself. Like to me, you just actually feel like you're flying on that ride.
I haven't ridden that ride yet.
How have you not ridden it yet?
So when I go with my kids, I let them pick. And they've never wanted to stand in the line or wait. So like, this is funny. Yesterday morning, we just did fast passes for our trip in October, and they didn't. Now we did check for fast passes, and we couldn't get any. So we'll try the night before. But without fast passes, the girls said, "Yeah, no, we'll skip it again." And that one of my daughters is nuts for Avatar. My youngest, 16. I mean, she's not that young, but there's a decent chance I go to another. It'd be my 3rd time. And then I've got it's my daughter's, but right there, I've got what are they called? The dudes on the shoulder? I want to call them a dragon, but everybody will get mad at me. Banshee, thank you.
Banshee, yeah.
So like my family likes it more than the average bear, and we haven't even ridden it yet. So we're just kind of anti-line. There's so much other stuff to do. And I will say my favorite ride on the planet is in that park, and it's not an Avatar ride, although it might be after I do it. It's my favorite roller coaster in the world, Everest. I love it.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think you really need to ride it.
Everybody says that. I mean, 2 people in chat are,
I know. I just don't understand how you haven't ridden it yet. It's like
I'm Dad. Hey girls, where you want to go is how it goes. I mean,
yeah.
I thought this time would be the time, and we still might. I mean,
you got to leave them behind. Just do it yourself.
I just did a good trip without him, and we didn't go to that. We went to 3 parks. We didn't go to that one. I actually thought I thought it was going to happen on that trip. Yeah, Lynn. So Lynn was just there, and she stayed after everybody flew away or drove away for the hurricane. She stayed, and she says in chat, waited 30 minutes last Wednesday for Flight of Passage. That's amazing. Lorena says, first time I rode Pandora, I waited 3 hours. Thought to myself, the ride better be worth the wait. I was in love with it. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to do it. Mostly out of guilt. I feel like I'm gonna have to do it.
Yeah, well, I've been noticing because I've been watching the crowds, and I mean, now with Galaxy's Edge open, I have seen the lines go down in length a bit, but it's also
that. But the hurricanes, they zip.
That's the thing.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's real or not.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, with the hurricane that come in, I think a lot of people canceled their reservations and didn't go. Really? But it's also the first couple weeks of September. So, but I'm interested to see what kind of happens over the next month. And I'm going to be keeping a close eye on it. So,
well, if the lines are low, hey Stacy, what's going on? If the lines are low the first week of October, I guarantee I'll be hopping on that one. But
yeah, got it. Yeah.
Okay, so what I ask you your favorite place? Oh, well, your favorite ride. So is it Flight of Passage? Can I assume that from what you just said?
Yeah, you know what? I think that one's a little too easy. Flight of Passage right now is my favorite, but if I were to put that one aside, Space Mountain, and then
Classic.
yeah, Space Mountain. Every time I go on it, like to me, when when you enter the tunnel, you're going into the tunnel, and the music, like
Yes.
to me, the music is my favorite out of any park within
Yeah.
Disney.
Think about
I
that,
just
but
love
that's a good call.
the Star Tunnel music is just like I'm listening to it in my head right now.
No,
Yeah.
me and my dad weren't like really close by any means. Like we were not close, but there was a few things that we really loved together, and Space Mountain was one of them. Playing baseball, Space Mountain, and then a roller coaster at Knott's Berry Farm. That's a whole other thing. And so that's like almost a family memory for me. I remember, again, I'm older than you guys. I remember standing in line for Space Mountain in Disneyland when it was Flight of Passage, when it was the 5-hour line, and it was everything. I would do it 2 or 3 times and just loved it. I mean, it was the best ride ever when I was 9 or 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And it still rocks if you ask me. I love it. Let's keep going. So we got Flight of Passage, we got Space Mountain. So Epcot, favorite thing to do at Epcot?
I mean, I'm just a huge fan of Soarin'. If I had to choose that ride, I wasn't a fan of I'm just not the biggest fan of Test Track. I think it's okay. Actually, you want to hear a pretty funny story about Test Track?
Yes.
Okay, so you know the queue for Test Track. You know how there's the waiting area where it's all numbered and the cast members place you on numbers, right? So my wife and we were just cut off at the very front before the number section. Like we were just cut off right before it. And so we're waiting there. The cast members, they put everyone on the line. And then the cast members are just hanging out. And then I'm kind of eavesdropping of listening to what the cast members are saying. And one of them he was complaining about, I don't know if I should be telling the story about cast members, but I just think it's hilarious. It's not terrible or anything, but one of the cast members was just kind of complaining about a guest that was there. She was just being really nasty and not fun or whatever. He just was talking about him, not in like a terrible way, but to me, I thought it was hilarious just listening to the story. So this cast member, he then places, after the whole room clears out, the guy that was telling the story places my wife and I on a number. And I happened to mimic what this nasty guest was saying to him. And the guy thought it was hysterical. He just absolutely laughed. He loved it so much. He was dying. So after the entire room was filled up, the guy came back. He gave us like free fast passes because
very cool.
Yeah, he thought whatever I said to him, he thought it was hysterical and just it was funny. So he gave us free fast passes to ride.
I love that. Yeah, that's funny. That's totally me too. Like if I'm in line and I'm by the cast members, I'm always overly I'm usually I couldn't care less what's going on around me. I am not an eavesdropping kind of guy. At Disney, I want to know what's going on. I'm interested behind that and what that button does and all that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I started inviting them onto my podcast to interview them, because I think cast members really make your Disney experience.
Amen. Absolutely.
And I honestly, if you don't talk to cast members that work at Disney, you're seriously missing out. These people just absolutely love Disney. They wouldn't be working there if they didn't. And they have so much insight, and just listening to their experiences is so much fun. And that's exactly why I love having them on my show. And I interview them all the time. And I've gotten some fantastic stories. And my episode 100 is celebrating all these cast members. So I went back and I took just some of my favorite stories just from the past however many episodes, and I put them into one episode. But those are just my personal favorite. But I've heard just tons of other stories and experiences, and just people working at Disney are just they really make the experience, and just talking to them is just so much fun.
I think that's the magic that Disney has over Universal and everywhere else. Like their training, their expectation level, their expectation level is just through the roof. I'm a nerd for some business things, and I won't bore everybody to death with it, but plenty of people who want to run a better business are trying to learn from Disney on how to get their top level, bottom level, and everybody in between employees to buy in as well as they do in Disney. And part of that is you're probably going to love Disney if you want to work there. I mean, that's why I love it. You get these, I'm not going to get all political, but there's this whole thing that people are mad about, how much Disney people get paid. People are dying to go work at Disney.
Yeah.
Dying. And so it's a little bit of supply and demand. Now, if you do a good job, you move up the ladder and you do well. But, whatever. It's a whole thing in Europe, and there's one of the Disney daughters is freaking out right now. We can talk about that another time. But we're having a whole different conversation in chat. They're talking about Forrest Gump in chat now. I love it. But we're kind of running out of time. So I want to make sure you get a chance, Matt, to say what you want to these people about what you got coming on your podcast or anything, really, anything you want to promote. I can't believe it's already been an hour. Thanks. Bore people with psychology. We'll do that one night. We're going to have a Lord of the Rings 1 hour in psychology talk with me.
Yeah.
Maslow, you can talk wherever you want. Anyway.
Yeah, sure. So no, guys, thanks for kind of joining. I mean, Jeff and I today just talking Disney. It's crazy how fast an hour just flies by.
I told you it does.
Yeah. But if you want, please check out my show, accesspresspodcast.com. It's pretty much in every major podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. It's on a lot. And I know a lot of people that find me and just go back and listen to all of my shows, and I don't know why they do that, but it's good. I know, but I could never listen back to my shows. That's me.
I never do. Like many times, I think I'll even say, and I mean it when I say it, "Hey guys, I'll go back and look because I want to see what I missed."
Yeah,
but then it feels, I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is I know what you mean. It's kind of weird. Yeah. It's your voice, right? Whatever.
Yeah. So with the show, I would suggest checking out, I think it was episode 18. It's called Getting to Know the Host. If you want to get to know a lot more about me and my history with Disney, I would check out episode 18. But otherwise, I have a lot of interviews with cast members on the show, people that worked at Walt Disney World and Disneyland. I have like a very wide range of shows coming out or that I already have. And then throughout the summer, I've been just inserting some more like fun shows, bringing in some different people, talking about different things. And like I said, I have actually in the coming weeks, I brought someone on who had a wedding at Disney World. I thought that would be a lot of fun to talk to someone about the process of like what it takes. Yeah, so I have that on the roadmap. But if you're just looking for like a place to get your news source for the weekly news at Disney, check it out. That's what I got. And I'm very active on Instagram, Access Press Podcast. You can find me over there. Those are the two big sources that I have. And I know all of you are on the YouTube space. I have my YouTube channel. I've been typing in chat, Matt at Access Press Podcast. Matt Zabita. That's my YouTube channel. I do videography on the side. I kind of started doing wedding videography. So I have some fun videos up there. I tried to become a vlogger back in the day. That wasn't a thing. But guys, I'm actually kind of curious, since you guys are all in the YouTube space, is if I were to start putting my podcast on YouTube, is that like something that people would listen to? Like, I don't know if I would do like a video feed of it, but like, do people listen to podcasts on YouTube if they're posted? Is that something you do, Jeff?
Let me give you 2 words: Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah.
He's doing a podcast, and he throws a camera in front of it, and he's got like 3 angles, and obviously we're not Joe Rogan, but I've thought about doing that with this show. I haven't yet. I don't know. I'm reading. This is going to get a little into the weeds, but I'm reading different opinions on native content versus sharing content other places. I don't know. I think that in the end, there's only 24 hours in the day, and we can only do so much. And if you want to be on different platforms, you're gonna have to do a little bit of stuff, a little bit here and there. But I don't know. I would watch. I'm here for. It depends. You know what? It's honestly, like, I'll listen to a podcast in the car if it's just me, or when I get home from work, or it's the evenings or whatever. I YouTube here in my, little Disney man cave, whatever this is.
Yeah.
So I think that putting your content where people are more than where you are is probably the way to go. And I don't know. I would listen to it either place, but what do you guys think in chat? Should he do a YouTube? I guess what you're saying is, should you put your interview shows and your podcast on YouTube? Is that what you're asking directly?
Pretty much just the audio version. I don't know if I'm ready to do video, but like just take the extra time and just put like the audio version up. So yeah, people will, like at work, they
will. Probably some people will. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about it. We'll see. So, but
can't hurt. I mean, can't hurt. Right? No. Get more people out there. DisTube in the Diz Cave. Yeah, exactly, Meg. Well, guys, it's been a little more than an hour, and I always promise the people to try not to keep them over an hour. But if you can stay for 3 or 4 minutes, if anybody has any questions for Matt, this is the time about podcasting, about his channel, about him, anything. Now would be the time. I don't want to keep him too long.
I got time. I'm good.
Okay, cool. Stacy says, just have to say today was the first and only time I rooted for your Cowboys. I picked them for the Survivor Pool. So that's interesting, Stacy. Are you in our Survivor Pool that Pete's doing? We've got Thursday nights we do a live show, NFL, me and Pete McDevitt and Kelly from Myers and the Mouse. We're all Disney nuts and football nuts. And so we do a live stream together, Matt. And there's like a couple hundred people in the Survivor Pool. I actually picked the Eagles, Stacy. And I think, as you know, Stacy, I hate the Eagles. But I figured they would probably get the job done, and they did. But they tried to screw it up. Great, fun clubhouse. What's going on, my friend? Anyway, yeah, football was great today. My team has won, including the team I picked. Dean says, thank you, Dean. This cough has been like 2.5 weeks now. I don't know what the heck. It's if I just don't talk, I don't talk. But it doesn't work when you're doing this. Anyway, and I won't be going into work tomorrow. I actually got to go to a funeral. So hopefully I'll get to give my voice a rest. Wow. My employees won't know where I'm at. I think that's it. I don't see any questions, guys. I'm going to drop his link one more time. Please get over to his website. Give his podcast some love. Subscribe to it. Get over to his YouTube. Subscribe to that. Do all those things. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Says another great stream. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Pushing Mouse in the house. What's going on? I just appreciate everybody coming in. I know there's a bunch of great YouTubers going live right now, or at least they were when we started. So that anybody came over and spent a little time with us makes my day. Matt, I appreciate you. I do love your podcast. I will continue to listen.
Thank you.
I'll say it while we got everybody in here. Anything I can ever do for you, just let me know. I love creators. I love what you're doing. And I know there's there's 24 people in chat right now. Hopefully you've got a bunch of new fans if they weren't already. And, hopefully we make some lifelong connections. So
for sure, yeah.
Go ahead.
I got to get you on the show sometime. We have to figure out an episode, and we got to figure something out. So
anytime. I've been on a couple, and I like you. I can talk about Disney. Although right now I cough, so maybe not. But thank you for coming. Yeah, Kate, thank you so much. Stacy, sounds like we both picked our least favorite teams. I figured. Well, we'll talk about that another time. Thank you for all the kind words, guys. Yeah, this cough will go away. Matt, it's been a pleasure. Don't be a stranger. I would love to be. You ask, I'll say yes. But more than that, let's just stay in contact. And I meant it. Anything I can ever do for you, let me know. And
thank you.
And you guys get over to his spot. I'll drop it one more time. Here's the link. Get over there. I think your Facebook had 93 or something when I posted it on. Hey, Laser Cat, what's going on? We're actually just saying goodnight. So glad you're here, though.
Yeah. Actually, another fun thing I've been doing real fast. Every Thursday on my Instagram, I mentioned earlier in the show about my dad's VHS tape that he made in '94. So what I've been doing is every Thursday for like Throwback Thursday, I've been putting up a minute of the VHS. So I have 2 minutes up so far. So it's a 2-hour tape.
I've seen a couple. Well, there you go. That's why then.
Yeah. So check it out on Instagram at Excess Press Podcast.
I got nuts with you. I got a little jealous. We used to go all the time, and I don't have anything like that. And I've asked my mom, like, what do you have? And the answer is nothing. So I'm jealous. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I'm just so grateful that he made that long VHS. So
VHS cracks me up. We just moved in. I got a box of VHSs that I don't know why we brought. I don't know what are on there. I'll never watch them, but
now they are.
Right. So. I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Watch my video that dropped today for the rest of September's. If you're just getting here, please go back and watch it. Give Matt some love. One more time, I'm going to drop his link. Get over there. Check out his website and his podcast and all those things. Man, I appreciate your time, buddy. I really do.
No, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, man. It's been so much fun. It's been fun getting to know you guys a bit more, and hopefully I see you over there.
Well, that's the idea. I hope to share Disney creators with a new group, and hopefully we all grow from it. So everybody in chat, I'm going to keep Matt here for a minute and say thank to him offline. But if you're in chat, I'm going to say goodbye now. Have a great week. Go do something awesome for somebody this week. And yeah, I appreciate you being here, guys. Talk to you soon. See you next Sunday. Also Thursday night, NFL Watch Party will be on live. And Saturday, I'll be on with Gonzo on his channel. But I'll tell you about that on my channel later. All right, that's it, guys. See you soon.
See you later, guys.
And